Hey, what up? Welcome to the Dope Souls Collective podcast, where dope souls can vibe, connect, heal, and grow because dope souls go through real shit. This podcast was created to nurture, support, and educate survivors and growth-oriented people. And without further ado, I give you your host. She's a transformational life coach, a mental health coach with a master's of psychology. She's also a couples and healthy sexuality coach. And I can't forget to mention she's my dope-ass friend. This is Romany Malco presenting to you the host and founder of the Dope Souls Collective podcast, the one and only Trishina Hunter.
What is up, Dope Souls? I am here with my brother, one of the kings of poetry, the dopest poets there are out there, period. He hails out of Michigan. Is that correct? Detroit? Detroit. And, you know, I brought him on not only because I love him because he's dope as shit, but because he happened to write a poem that saved my life. I was going through septic shock and really trying to fight to stay alive. And he has this poem that I'm actually hoping he'll do, but he's probably not going to. Called Y.O. And I was going through some of the hardest time in my life. And I remember the lyric constantly playing. They call us poets, illegal broadcasters, just because we say what the people want. And I guess you could say he's part of the reason we even have this, because we constructively say what the people want so they can know that dope souls go through real shit and get over some shit. So I want to introduce my brother, my friend, deaf poet and dope soul, Abyss, to the Dope Soul Collective.
What's happening? Thanks for having me. I'm around here, pollen killing me, but I'm still, I wanted to be here in the house and support you, and I appreciate you supporting me.
Oh, absolutely. Now, who's Abyss? Who does the collective need to know Abyss is?
Abyss is a bright young soul searching, and I'm a spoken word artist amongst everything. I'm a conduit for the Most High.
All right. And where has that journey taken you? Tell me about where you came from.
Oh, yeah.
And kind of how you got to where you are now.
I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. You know, I went to high school, graduated, went to the military. I joined the Navy and the Marines. I was a hospital corpsman in there, you know, veteran, 8 years, got out. And I tried to figure it out. I knew I wanted, you know, the entrepreneurial spirit hit me. But, you know, I lost my grandmother and my aunt in a tragic car wreck in like 94.
I'm so sorry.
And I ultimately lost my mom, 97.
Wow.
So upon that, that's when I really got to, you know, doing the spoken word for real. So I became my own, I don't want to say shrink, but, you know, I had to write through it. And I had to basically, you know, medicate myself with my words and thoughts and feelings and, you know, just getting to know it. And upon that, man, I found myself at an open mic. I was producing music for a little while. I started doing a little comedy, you know, things, you know, just trying to find out. I knew I had a creative spirit. I just knew being in the military is like salary. Mm-hmm. You got, once they pay you, they pay you. It don't matter if you work 36 hours or 36 minutes, it's the same pay. And I felt like that was unfair because my entrepreneurial spirit, I always knew till you worked on a wage or we hustled and we got money. Right. So I never wanted to put, you know, hours to dollars. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to make sure that I had a blank check. So I knew whatever I had to do, it had to be creative. So I had children by this time, and in the Navy, I was married. I had an early marriage, you know, early. Mm-hmm. So upon that, you know, this is at the time I'm finding out like, oh my God, I'm an artist, but I'm a father before I'm an artist. So then all of these things are developing at the same time. So it became tumultuous at the time. It was something that I probably could deal with when I was in my 20s. In my 50s, I don't think I want to deal with that, you know, that type of stress level, because the stress was bananas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But even though it was bananas, it was my walk, because what you don't know is that a lot of the times you keep bumping your head till you do get the lesson.
Yeah.
That's one of those things, you know, like just being a poet is not something that I figured that this is what it would be. Because I knew I was getting out the military, and I was like, man, y'all can find me on HBO in 5 years. And I'm thinking I was going to do it in deaf comedy, and I wound up doing it with deaf poetry in 6 years. So this is like, you know, just I knew I could do it after I got out here, and I was doing it already before Russell was even looking to do a show.
Yeah.
I had a whole bunch of peers that we were out here with. So, you know, I don't want to talk too much. I want you to ask some questions because I can go on and on about what the grind was.
You know, I was listening to what you said about writing through your pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a fan of your work. I love your spirit. I love who you are. I love you as my brother. But I am an actual really big fan of your work. And I'm listening to you. And I'm thinking that, yeah, you're right. It was acid gospel all along.
Right. And
now,
that acid gospel.
Yeah, tell us about that.
I wanted to create a genre that, you know, that embodied spoken word, hip hop, poetry, all of those things, singing, chanting. And I just called it acid gospel. It's the burning truth. However you need to get that truth out, you know, you make sure it burns. You sizzle it into their retinas. You sizzle it into their brains. Make sure that, you know, this is a unique experience that you can have.
On this podcast, we talk a lot about mental health. So I want to make sure that everybody's catching that, you know, Abyss went through some things. He didn't just get out of the military, go straight to death. None of that. Go ahead, break it down.
No, I was going to say Abyss is still going through things. I've dealt with a lot of loss as of recently, but the thing about it is my best way to cope with it until I'm able to give it the emotional time that it needs. I kind of push it behind me sometimes.
Okay.
And I work through it because, you know, you can master the pain and it's not always the wisest. But I'm one of those that now I don't realize how to relieve pressure sometimes. So we self-medicate, you know, whatever we need to do to relieve stress, you know, and it's only so we come up for air. But a lot of times God puts you right there where he can make you feel it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Can you feel that? Now go transcribe that and put that into poetry. So with that close to the heat, that you can transcribe it and get a message up out of it.
And it's really hard sometimes when the pain is deep to get a message out of it. That's why you call it acid gospel. It burned, but that don't make it mean it ain't the truth.
Exactly. And acid meaning burning, gospel meaning truth. Sometimes the burning truth, it hurts.
Yeah.
And you're not a poet until somebody feels you. And sometimes you have to go touch whatever that emotion is. And whatever you get off that emotion, you have to pull that from it and then go give it to the sheep.
That's right. So really you have to tug into your own emotions, tap into it, and then find something to get out of it.
And it could be because I write from an authentic place and I only can be me. So I'm going to be the best version of myself that I can give you. So, you know, I'm a Virgo as well, you know.
Virgo rising.
You know, so Virgo with the Leo attributes, you know, but a lot of what we deal with sometimes is we become our own worst critics, perfectionists,
yes,
overthinkers. It's amazing what the creativity does. Like if you don't handle that, you could be on your spinning the wheel. Just keep going through it, through it, on the cycle. We done played 14 alternate endings. We have to get that creativity out.
Because that's how you come up with solutions.
And solutions, we can call them melodies. It could be hieroglyphics. It's the writings on the wall, essentially, when you're able to express yourself. Like you did the conduit. So you get it.
Yes.
Boom, and you push it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You receive it to give it away.
And that expression of yourself is medicine. You know, a lot of times that expression, that outpouring is what will keep you alive. It's keeping all of it bottled up, trying to bury it, pretend like it doesn't exist. It has our people committing suicide because we're taught, like, don't talk about it, pretend it don't happen, pray it away, you know, suck it up, be tough.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think as men growing up in the 70s and the 80s, 90s, what have you, our feelings weren't developed. They were suppressed more so. So that's why I'm able to sit and take a lot more, because a lot of this stuff wasn't developed. Over time it has, because you learn from what your tribe, you vibe with your tribe. Yeah. So you don't want to carry all that stress with you. So you look what's best practices. So I realized, like, oh, okay, I can't drink milk anymore. So I was told all the time that milk does the body good.
Right.
Now you grow up like, damn, I'm lactose.
Yeah.
And then you think about how many times I had this, oh my God, I might need to go get a colonic. So this leads you to other things. So once you really feel and clean, get this waste out you, and you feel like you're in a different consciousness, now the thoughts change. So a lot of this stuff is, if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you always had. So to want something different, you have to do something different. That's why this movie, Spring and Third, the thing about it is we went to the Yin Yang. Everybody was here at this particular place. But when you're a griot, we don't see it the same way as everybody else.
Yeah.
We're trying to see how this is a story, even when we don't know that it's a story. We know we're participating because we're in the now. We're in the moment, but somebody has to tell this story. And luckily, we were able to pull this together. It's been a blessing, man. It took about 4 years to put this thing together.
Wow.
This is us. We had Malik Salam, the director. Shout out to Tommy Bottoms. And he's an executive producer as well. And we also have Kimmy Bennings, who's an executive producer, and myself. And when you put all of these entities together, like, everybody is solid in their own right.
Yeah. So
it's like a four-headed monster, and everybody, we have a unique way of, we've been grinding for like 24, 25 years out here. No, it hasn't been the best crystal stair, but no, I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing, because whatever we saw as rough made us built tough. Like, we were able to survive a pandemic and still be relevant.
So the movie's Spring and Third, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I did my homework. I'm from East Point.
Okay.
And
East Point.
It is Atlanta from beginning to end.
Oh yeah.
It is literally it is a love story to the city of Atlanta. And to Yin and Yang, and what I knew as Apache. And I was watching the video, and I was watching it with my daughter. And the movie, it talks about the love, that you could be your authentic self. You didn't have to be the best, and you would be okay. And it took me to the day that I came, I think it was the second time I came to Apache. And I pulled you aside and I said, yo, I can't memorize nothing. And you looked at me, you said, just make it hot. You got it.
Yep.
Like, I didn't get treated any differently. I'm not a deaf poet. I'm a life coach. I write a little bit on the side, but that energy, even for me being a newcomer, being an outsider, somebody visiting, was completely infectious. I remember it was me and my cousin Rashidi. We sat in the front row. You performed my favorite poem. And I had salmon cakes and grits and greens.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Bruh. So good. I was like, yo, I felt like I was at grandma's house and needed to clean my plate. I got ready to pick up my own stuff and clean off my table. The waitress was like, what are you doing? I'm cleaning up my stuff.
Right. Hey, that was a vibe at the old building. 60,
oh my gosh.
Spring and Third.
Yeah.
But like that is a remnant of what we were doing in the 90s. So it was someone, man, I'll tell you how real it is. And this wasn't staged. This is a brick out of that building.
Oh my.
Yeah. It means something.
Yeah.
It's real. It's real. It's real. It's real. It's real. When I say that place was like when you look at the story, even though you weren't there, you know where you were at in the 90s. So you can almost time capsule a lot of the music that you was listening to.
Yes.
Passed through this building.
It's like a landmark.
Some of the dopest work that you've ever seen. It's not a landmark now, but we know what it is. This is the landmark right now. The landmark is on Tubi.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said in the movie, it's the people.
Well, it's the people. It can be a bunch of things, like, that can be argued what it is. But like I said, I know it's the people, but I still got to have a piece of that building.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
Because the energy, and there's so much in it.
Man. And so, it's not like it's an idolatry thing. It's more so I wanted to commemorate. Yeah. Like, for the time that I put into this building. I put a lot into this building. I found a wife and made 2 kids out of this building.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I just out of this building. Plus, when I got married at the time, my wedding was reminiscent of an open mic at Yin Yang or Apache.
Yes.
So, but it's that building. There's something about those coordinates of Spring and 3rd, where there was a lot of energy coming from the 90s. We all like got the back signal at the same time, like the 90s, to converge on this place called Atlanta and do our thing, come and be an artist, be a weirdo, whatever it is, come to this little spot, be intentional about your purpose.
Yes.
And you come in here and you blossom into what you call your life now. So, I didn't come here knowing what I was going to do.
Yeah.
But I knew after going in that building what I wanted to be a part of.
It definitely has that effect. And I was only there twice, and I'm grateful to say I was there at all.
Oh, yeah. It's one of them places. It's magical.
Anybody that's ever been there, it is a gift. And in the movie, there was a reference to it being the heart of Atlanta. And
I mean, look where it was at. It was right by the torch.
You go out into the world, and people that don't live in Atlanta, aren't from Atlanta, don't know nothing about home.
Oh, yeah.
They hear Outkast, they hear all these sounds, but they have no clue about what the soul of it is, what it means to touch down and see dogwood trees.
Those dogwoods, I'm coughing pollen now. The thing about it is, Atlanta has always been one of those places that just pull the artsy in.
Yeah.
And like with Maynard Jackson, like I said, I don't want to tell the movie. I'd rather you go see.
Yeah, y'all got to see it.
I don't have to sell this. If you knew where you was at in the 90s, take a look at this. And a shout out to, we've been getting on a lot of, basically making our podcast rounds. And it's one of those things where we've been getting a great response. And it's one of these things where we just glad we took the time to do it, because there's no other film like this right now. And we had some people come through here. Like, this is the place where India Ivory got her start.
Yes.
You got Bone Crusher, who was a chef in there. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Yeah, Lauren A came through there, who was on Broadway. Man, like the Chronicle, the band itself, the Chronicle. We got one of the, Avery Johnson did, I'm outside of the club if you think I'm a punk. I told it, I ain't never scared. So he did the Never Scared beat for Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher was a chef in there. You got the bass player up here in the band. These cats done collab.
And made magic. This dope shit.
Went around the world. Come on, you can't beat that. Like that.
Not at all.
And then you got Anthony David. Come on. You got Donnie. Come on. The lightning didn't just strike once. It hit a couple of times. Which tells you the magic. Yes. So to be in there with that in the 90s, you got to understand where we were as a people too in the 90s. Because we weren't addressing a lot of things. We were closer to slavery than we was to freedom. And we was just starting to talk about it and find ourselves. Well, we was always talking about our freedom, getting our freedom. You had the Arrested Developments out then and all of that stuff that we was going through back then. Like you still had consciousness on the radio. You had an option to be, I can be on the ignorant. Now you can't even be a hybrid. You got to be one or the other.
One or the other. Either I can't understand you, or you're not saying shit, or it's completely positive.
I want to be consciously ignorant. You can't even do it.
Not even close. Ignorant. So what brought this together? And tell me who was involved so that everybody can, really be heard and expressed. How did this come about?
I would say how this came about. Gentrification. We're watching what we've built into this building for the last 20 some years. We've been here, called it home. This has been the center of Atlanta, the heartbeat. And we've been doing all of this stuff. And then, we travel. So the building that's going up next to the, what's across the street from Apache. And we looking up. My man, Tommy, we looking up at the skyscraper that's next to it. But they're not even caring that they're inconveniencing us on the parking.
At all.
So they have a crane like half of the street. You can barely get down the street or park. So they don't care. So we looking like, man. So Tommy say, hey, somebody gonna tell this story. Somebody gonna tell this story. So it wound up being Malik and Tommy getting together. And then they pulled in, we pulled in Kimmy Bennings.
Okay.
And then I got pulled in as an executive producer, as well as other things to help the story get told. And, like I said, everybody worked their magic. And man, we wound up, this is like really, really, really a big win for the city of Atlanta, for the musicians that were involved, everybody, everyone's supposed to benefit off this. This ain't just about us. That's why you didn't see us in the movie, because
I did notice that, and I was curious. I'm glad you said that.
Because I was there. I'm a Yin Yang alumni, but I made my stain when Apache came.
Yeah.
I helped jump Apache back off. But we're going to tell that in a whole nother story. Now,
and I'm looking forward to it. I am here for it.
Right. I definitely am in part 2, but part 1, it didn't make any sense to put myself in there when I'm trying to squeeze it in. This is classic because the story told itself.
So it's like the rebirth.
I can see myself in this story.
It's like the rebirth is part 2.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when the Yin Yang was only around for like 5 years.
Okay.
Right? It's like the Tupac of the situation. Pac was only around for 5 years, but we consider him one of the greatest places ever. One of the greatest rappers ever, right? Boom. So
you think he was around for 20 years?
Exactly. So this one, the next one, Apache, was around for 20 years. So that's more like a Jay-Z.
Wow.
So you done went on and on and on and on, stood the test of time, bam, 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 when you're doing it. But it's Tupac first. Metaphors.
It is.
You got to realize, like, a lot of the swag that you see me on stage doing, I got this from watching The Chronicle, watching improvisation, Never Let Them See You Sweat. We used to have a poet up there by the name of We One. I don't know where he at now, but my man used to do this, like, man, he would read out of his book sideways. Oh, man, I have to show you this. So oh, man, look at me. On live TV. Look at me.
Skills.
So he'll do something like this. So he's reading, right? And he'll turn it and be turning the pages. And it might not be nothing on the pages, but he's spitting bars. But the whole thing is, this life I live ain't for me, it's for you. God gave me gray skies so yours could be blue. And when it rains, it pours. And when the wind blows, I'm taking the roof. You can film this if you need proof. If you heard my Hate Me Now piece, consider this part 2. Because most of the cast is taking the last reel to hate me, but just doing this. Like when you see this type of development of your craft and doing this, man, it makes you not want to, I don't feel jealous. I feel like I'm learning. And I became a sponge and I soaked that stuff up. You got Dres Tha Beatnik in there. Dres Tha Beatnik has always been a beast.
Fire.
Always been a beast. To this day, like to test the time. Like, but again, we all came from different places to make this an epicenter for just a lot of creative energy. And I'm just, like I said, I'm blessed to be involved, to even know the people that I did. We had Joy in here, Joy Gilliam.
Yeah, she's remarkable.
Zooman. Who else? Dr. Fahamu Peku. You done seen his art everywhere. Yes. But he's been Fahamu Peku the shit since I got here. Fahamu and Kimbo are the reasons that I got into hosting.
And you are an incredible host. For anybody that hasn't seen you host, find one of Abyssa's shows and catch it.
Oh, yeah, we get down. And the thing about it is, sometimes Fahamu and Kimbo made it look real. So that's hence how me, Bis and Cocktails, how all of that stuff came about for Live Poet Society, because we had people that we saw, but we didn't have to be just like them.
Yeah.
So we just came with our own personalities, and man, we ran the game for about 9-10 years. So we were an era.
And still going.
And well, when the thing about it is, when Yin Yang closed, I was in a position, or Live Poet Society was in a position to be the next whatever that was. And that's what we ran for a decade.
And that was Apache, correct?
Well, we were at Dave and Buster's. We was all over the city. By this time, we're touring colleges. Like everything is like straight. We're growing tentacles now. Now we can touch and we can turn down. We can say no. But one thing we wanted to make sure is that we were getting poets paid, for their services.
And that in and of itself is huge, because that's not something that, poetry has always kind of been treated like the stepchild of novels.
I think it's because we just don't gauge it, because sometimes if you've been in the game for 24 years and you've made an impact, that that you've made an impact, and they try to pay you like somebody that just started out.
It's like, you read a self-help book, it takes you a month, 2 months. When you can literally go and listen to a poet, you can hit up, it's not Apache XLR or City Winery when things are going on down there now.
Yeah, they got something.
One poem will change your life.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, that can happen anywhere.
Yes.
We can do it on the block, street preaching or whatever. But
yes,
the thing about it is, we have to be present to have these experiences, though. Sometimes people, that's that poetry shit, I don't want to hear it. Okay. But if
medicine you need.
If it's meant for you, it'll hit you. Everybody ain't your sheep.
One common theme that's come up in every single one of my episodes, like you're the fourth one, is being authentic. And even Ramani in the first episode that he did talked about knowing your niche, knowing who it is that does fuck with you, like who it is that really is down with you, and sticking to them. You don't need everybody.
Right. And I think that whole ecosystem is something you just have to be able to feed and make sure. I want somebody to be the battery in my back like I'm the battery in theirs. And so when that energy is being pushed around, circulated within your community, this is why I don't mind working with Kimmy, Tommy, and Malik. I know they are monsters at what they do.
Yes.
So when they monsters at what they do, the difference is now we are creative and we were active in our craft. And we're able to push a product that you can see the results. We are the receipts that this happened.
It keeps making me think that is the summer of soul for us, our generation.
It's funny that you say that, because we had one of the first, when we were screening it with Elevate Atlanta and the city of Atlanta, we were screening it. It got compared to the city of the Summer of Soul in the creative loafing.
And it is. There's a parallel there. I'm a 1978 baby.
Right.
So Summer of Soul was long before me.
Right.
But I can still remember when Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music dropped.
Yeah.
And Soul Food dropped. And I was in a real dark place back then.
Oh, yeah.
And some of them lyrics, them bars, that South has something to say. South got something to say. Man, I can't tell you how many times that shit pulled me out.
Yeah.
I live for today, motherfuck another hour.
Right. Well, the whole thing is, it was so regional and blocked off because I was stationed in Kings Bay, Georgia. Mm-hmm. So I'm in Georgia, but we didn't have Outkast down there. I went and found out about Outkast up in Detroit, Michigan, with my cousin Quest McCody, who's a battle rapper / producer, entrepreneur, everything. So he's a he told me about, he let me hear the Southern Playalistic. I was like, damn, we're going to get you high. Mm-hmm. I was like, whatever that is, I got to get to it. Wound up being Organized Noise, the whole crew, Goody Mob, the whole thing. And I wasn't going to stop until these guys are my peers. Yes. Because right now they're inspiration, but I have something to offer as well. And so, through time, you meet people, through the years because we're intentional with the purpose. But just to really be around and finally get on the show with Organized Noise, I got this one the same week my son passed. So it's one of those balancing that. It was crazy, like surreal as hell. And that's one of those moments where you're looking like, damn. But my son, I know he fully supported what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got a chance to show him some things. So, and this is the reason why I even went on ahead with it, because he knew how this would have affected me. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like my dad he been doing this for a minute, and he finally gets a chance to do it. And I felt his soul with me that night and just had a great performance. Family was around, but man, when I say I went through one of the craziest times and I had to exercise that demon on the stage.
I remember you posted and you shared with me, was it a violin player or a horn player that was doing a dedication for your son?
I want to say violin. I can't remember. I put a lot of that stuff. It's in the compartment. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not.
We're not gonna make you dig it.
Yeah.
We're not gonna make you dig it, because the thing is this, and that is the whole premise of what I do here and why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody can see you on Instagram and you're dancing and everything's fine and you spitting fire.
Oh yeah.
And you producing movies. And, it's just like me, I coach. I help people through their shit.
Oh, yeah.
And the idea is that you got it all together, ain't no pain, and there's nothing behind it, but we go through real shit.
Yeah, my grind was sponsored by trauma. Believe that. You're running from it so you don't have to deal with it. I done did that. Now I'm at the point to where now I'm going to get all of this stuff out of my head that I have in my head now. Then go through the purge, the detoxing, I'm about to let all this stuff go emotionally that I should have let go a long time ago. But these things are like, you got to understand, I haven't mourned the loss of my mother, who died at 97.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not like you don't want to, but hell, you have to be so strong that you don't even know your strength. We don't even know what we're measuring the strength with sometimes. So it has to come in heavy-handed lyricism. So when it says, I lost a lot of sleep to dreams, here's to insomniacs. Mm-hmm. Red Eye alumni, we did it from the cardiac. Self-made, we adapted any habitat. I got this heat, but you ain't playing with my thermostat. Y'all think I'm fly, you can see the shit I'm on. It's a dirty job. You can tell what I'm stepping on. I walk the walk. I talk the talk. My lessons learned. I'm angelic with the flow. Shit, my wings are earned. I'm in a cadre of madres and padres. We spit calligraphy until it's imagery. I paint picture with the symphony. Ebb and flow, flutes in the timpani, orchestrated in the ether. They call it ministry. Tell Caesar no toleration for tyrants. The bombs ticking. We outnumber the hydrants. I'm Fahrenheit. I elevate the climate. Young lion with science. That's what you call guidance. So, like, all of that stuff comes from a personal place. You know what I'm saying? I have lost a lot of sleep to dreams. Like, but does that mean I stopped dreaming? Nah. I'm gonna dream some more shit. I want to dream on a budget. You know what I'm saying?
And you still producing, you know.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm gonna produce till they putting flowers on me. And then I'm gonna produce flowers.
But you could have quit and you didn't.
Nah, I doubt if I quit now. Too far. I done did too much. You know what I'm saying? I got a Peabody Award.
Yes, right. Peabody Award-winning poet.
I got some things to leave my seeds because they're gonna do greater things than me. I just need to leave them, drop some bird crumbs out here.
Yeah. And they're incredible kids.
They're gonna change the world. Trust me. And the thing about it is it's so much out here that we don't even realize, like, now. So as we live in a social media age, but we're not social.
Yeah. We're disconnected more than ever.
Yeah, we got to connect. And I think that's, once we start connecting, just do something different, man. Just be in the moment. It's once it start connecting, it's going to feel like we've been getting the energy to places that's always needed it, but never gotten it.
Because we're conditioned to just keep scrolling, connect for not even connecting, but give attention span 10 seconds at a time.
And the other part of that is I come from the era where we turned the TV off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The TV wasn't always on. And we developed patience because we didn't have a choice. So if you didn't see your favorite program, it ain't like you can go DVR it. You're going to be out of sync. If you don't know it, and nobody,
you're just not going to know. You just
on to the next one. But we didn't trip. Now let that happen. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? What
Don't talk about Euphoria. I missed Euphoria. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Abyss, exactly. You could have chosen a lot of things, my friend. You could have chose hell. You could have chose drugs. You could have chose anything. And we don't have enough safe spaces for Black men in mental health or Black women in mental health to really give them voice to how they deal with their pain, their trauma, their suffering.
Oh, yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? And what kept you from choosing hell instead?
Prayer, determining, I think the religion is more so for crowd control.
Right.
Sometimes you just need that one-on-one. And I didn't really want, I won't say I didn't want the fellowship, because definitely you can tell who, when the village has their hand on you, you can tell God, you can feel God through that. So the village has always had my hand around. I just wanted to do right by the village as well. So sometimes it's kind of like, I look at Black men now in today's society, you're almost toxic to exist.
Yeah.
And that ain't a swipe at nobody or nothing. That's just, I'm telling you from, and I don't want to do that, beat my chest. I'm the alpha male. You hear me? You hear me?
Yes.
It ain't none of that. It's more so, if a Black boy is to grow up in this world and all he see is Black girls rock, all of this stuff, and then, you can't really turn that pain around with a slogan that's empty. You know what I'm saying? Like if it meant something, that black boy joy, if I feel it, yeah. But that didn't get a roll out of a plan. That didn't get out,
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where we live in a society where we don't want gender roles, but you do make gender play a role sometimes.
And then we don't really give Black men the permission to be free to really express their emotions, their feelings, or even affection.
Right. I mean, yeah, you taught but I believe that's a conditioning, and a lot of it is what you wrap your mind around, because we have solutions. It just depends on who you're asking. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we don't get an understanding because some people don't try to understand. They just want to be understood. With that, it's kind of like you rather not deal with it. I'll be like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to deal with me.
And sometimes that's hard enough. People aren't even taught to do that.
I mean, some people think that when they talk to themselves, they think they are a little, insane. But sometimes, I mean, where do you think those voices come from? Like when I'm writing, the words are coming from somewhere. Okay, that's another dimension, because I hear my voice as they're writing, but I have to memorize this word. So is it mine, or is it the dimension that I got it from, or is it from the Most High God? Same difference. Yes. Whatever you want to call it, if you ain't calling it that, it's the deity, is the source. So to me, I can't act like that source don't do what it do. So if I ain't hanging up a sun or a moon, and I know the source is, and this is where I'm pulling my energy from, the source, I know I can do anything with this. So sometimes you'll hit them with the frequency, a tone. So now when you're listening to the tone, now you're responsible for getting these chakras open. When you start looking at all of these things, like you recognize the power that you have, it develops into something. And that's kind of like, I can't say that, I haven't dealt with PTSD or all of this stuff. Hell, I went to war. This ain't regular stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So these ain't regular things that's happened to you. But I've dealt with seeing somebody get shot in the face when I was like 5 years old, the police, but I grew up, I was the oldest child of the oldest child. So I grew up in the 70s with people that grew up in the 50s. You know what I'm saying? So there's old people around. So I'm getting, I got an old soul. So now it's kind of like I've seen these things. I went to Mississippi in 1979 by myself from Detroit, Michigan, on the back of the Greyhound. This is in 79. So I would have been 9 years old.
I was a year old.
Here go the crazy part. I'm going to tell you how much I weighed when I graduated high school. I was 4'8" and 88 pounds.
Wow.
So imagine what size I was when I was 9.
What?
So everybody's like, who's this little man? I was like, that Wayne's, what's his name?
Ooh. No, not the little baby one. Not the little baby. I can't remember the name of that movie.
Oh man, I can't think of the name. But the whole reason why I'm saying this is just I had to exercise some maturation or some maturity to my parents to even trust me to do that. So I've been an old soul.
And you are such a dope soul.
Thank you.
Such a dope soul.
So I'm in the collective.
You are definitely in the collective, and I'm so glad to have you here.
Appreciate it.
Shout out the movie.
Oh yeah,
what do we need to know about the movie? Where do we find it? Tell me.
Hey, it's on Tubi, TUBI, free. Dame Dash Studios. You know what I'm saying? Homestead Films. Y'all go ahead and go see this movie. It's on your Tubi. And we got some groovy. We got some instrumentals on there. We got some dope sound bites, man. Just check it out. It's a great story. It's about Atlanta in the 90s. So if you ever been to Freaknik, the Olympics, find out what was happening on the other side of that wall of creativity. It's a place called the Yin Yang. The Yin Yang Music Cafe. Shout out to Reggie Ely for the creator, the whole brainchild behind this thing.
Now, for myself and for anybody listening, is there anything else that people can do to support this project? Is there a place where maybe there's donations that can be made to further the project and take it to the next level? Because that, for those of us from the South, for me personally, this is our summer of soul film.
Right. Well, here's the thing. We haven't started any crowdfunding or anything of that particular measure or anything. What we would say is to support it by, watching that thing about 3 or 4 times if you have to. But let someone know about it, or take it to music departments. If you know anybody that's into the music scene now or past, if you ever been to Atlanta in the 90s, check it out. So, it touches on a lot of things. So what we need to do is we have at Spring and Third is the IG. And we also have a website, springandthird.com. So it'll be definitely, we have merch on there as well. Some t-shirts, posters, and some other things, merch for sale as well. So purchasing those, checking out the movie, and, letting somebody know about it so everybody knows about it.
And I will have all of those links posted down in the notes on this episode. I believe you're also on Apple Music and all of the other streaming platforms, correct?
Yes, under Team Abyss, TEAMABYSS, and I'm at Team Abyss on social media, all the social media. And you can follow me on Cash App at #Team Abyss.
Yes.
Nothing but
donate to that project.
You can donate to that. But definitely, I've been out here, a while. And like I said, blessed to still be relevant, still be moving. And I ain't letting up. You got me? I feel like the middle child on my J. Cole shit.
And I'm looking forward to the sequel, right? The next chapter that you helped start, because it's coming. So yes, by all means, take all of that down, and make sure we fund that next project, because the South ain't done talking. The South still saying something.
Oh, got big things coming now, man. I got just landed I can't really say what it is, but I'll be in some voiceovers, doing some voiceovers. Wait. So yeah, so it's a beautiful thing, man. Like I said, I love it. I wouldn't change a thing. Shout out to all my babies. I love you. And like I said, and man, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And lastly, I always close, even though you've told me lots of dope stuff about you. One more thing. Tell me one more dope thing about you.
One more dope thing about me. I can say that this craft that I so trust in is preserved by you. And I think what I mean by that is the more I put in it, the younger I feel. So I don't feel like I'm aging. I feel like it's moving backwards. Yes. Although the body feels different, but definitely my mind is
the Benjamin Button effect through poetry, huh?
Hey man, it feels like it's the 90s all over again, and it feels like it's finally my time now at 24 years in. So now I'm in my Quincy Jones year. It's time to get to it. So I'm trying to do everything that I know that I can and what I don't think I can, but I haven't even imagined. I just want to get what was meant for me, and that's it. Everybody else get theirs. I just want mine.
I look forward to all of it and to supporting you in all of it, because it's always fire. There's no BS. It's awe-inspiring. It is life-changing.
I'm intentional.
Yes. If anybody find him, listen to all his work. Matter of fact, on this channel is a video of him performing YO at Apache.
Oh, word.
As I was eating salmon cakes.
Oh, yeah. I had on a blue jean joint.
It's on this channel.
Ponytail then. I got locks now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for giving me your time, your effort, and your energy, and for sharing this project with me.
Thank you for having me in the Dope Soul Collective.
Y'all make sure y'all follow him, and that's our time today. Thank you, Abyss.
Thank you. Peace.